Hi, I'm Joke Matt. My dissertation topic was designing a data solution for the sports center, sports lab team. The research has been broken down into seven. The objectives of the research was broken down into seven. The first objective was to identify the literatures, if the technologies in the data warehousing technology and the impact of data, how data mining and data warehousing has impacted the sports and the athletic training, sport in the area of sports and athletic training. We did a lot of literature review on this topic, and what we understood in the database data warehouse technology, the widely used approaches for efficiently implementing the data warehouse technology are the Kimball's, Kimball's method and Inman's method. According to Kimball, a data warehouse can be created by first designing data marts. Data marts means data marts are smaller or subset of data warehouses, which are which are for specifically focusing on meeting the requirement of a particular department instead of a data warehouse which holds all the data related to organizations. The data mart holds the data specifically focus with or to meet the requirements of a particular department. For data warehousing, for in Kimball's in Inman's approach, the data warehousing has to be implemented, and from the data warehouse, we have to divide the data marts. We have to divide the data marts into divide the data marts. But as per Kimball, the data marts has to be defined first, and which can be later joined together for creating a bigger data warehouse. In the data warehouse technology, we have the source systems, the staging system, and the data sources. The traditional method of doing traditional data warehousing approach, data warehousing consists of the source systems from mainly the OLTP databases and the external raw files. The data is getting collected from these machines, and the data is with the help of the ETL process. Data is collected from these machines, and the data is getting transformed in the staging location, and this transformed data is getting loaded into the data solution. That's the traditional way of data warehousing technology, and that's a common widely accepted way of data warehousing. In this in this architecture, we need the staging server where the data has to be transformed based on the structure of the data has to be transformed to maintain the consistency of the data in the data warehouse. After a lot of literature review and case studies, we have identified we have identified the research methodology, the qualitative approach as the research methodology, and the Kimball's development method for data mart development as our development methodology. For qualitative approach, we have to gather our primary data from the interview through interviews and surveys. We have conducted interviews with the business officials for understanding and identifying their requirements, the business requirements, what they are expecting from this data solution, and what are the reports they are expecting from this data solution. We collected the details. We did the feasibility check of we first of all we did the project plan. In the project plan, we defined the scope of the project, the time delivery, the time span of the project, the time we have to develop this data solution, and the end users, the readiness check of the end users, the technical feasibility of the tools we can use for developing this data solution. As per Kimball's methodology, the life cycle has been divided into project planning, readiness check, designing business requirements, collecting business requirements, defining means designing the object model, then testing, then evaluation and deployment. It is more like agile means it incorporates the iterative method. It is focus. The Kimball's methodology is focusing on end users, while Inman's methodology is focusing on the processes. That's why we stick with in Kimball's approach of developing data mart. We designed an independent data mart to meet the data requirements of the sports lab. The first step was the project planning, and for that we defined the scope of the project. The second was the assessment check. We did the assessment, means how the end users are going to use it. How is it feasible for the end users? Will this one meet the requirements? After the assessment check, we have started collecting the data from the end users later with their meet the requirements. We collected the data related to the objectives of the data solution from the business officials. Once we get the data, we came to means we understood that the data, the structure of the data is only relational data structure, no JSON or no semi-structured, unstructured data is coming from the lab systems. With the technical feasibility of the softwares available, we decide with the technology to be implemented as with the Oracle database Oracle relation databases and with the Oracle Apex the user interface. For designing a developing a data mart, we have to design the data model. For design the data model, normally there are conceptual model designing, logical model designing, physical model designing. The conceptual model designing. First of all, we are creating the ERDs, and then we are conceptually modeling. We are identifying the entities. The conceptual model and the relational logical model is a little bit overlapped. In the logical model, we are defining the relations, how one entity is related with the other entity. Once the logical model is completed, we will go with the physical model design. The grain of the data is level. The fact is highly important in designing a data means a data schema. As per the requirements we got from the business team, we focus on star schema model for defining our data solution. Star schema consists star schema is a set of tables which are dimensions and facts, which looks like a star. Means the fact is not the center, and the dimensions are radiating from the center. The facts table have the aggregate and summation data, while the dimensions have the link to the fact table. So we decided to go with the independent data mart architecture, and we have implemented the prototype in using the Oracle Linux and the Oracle database and Oracle Apex user interface. The requirements mainly from the data from the lab center team was they are collecting the performance data of an athlete during his performance trial session, the data getting generated, and this data has to be populated to the data solution, and they need to process it there, and they need to analyze the data, and they need to keep it for future analysis compliant to the GDPR policy, regulations like GDPR policies. That's what their requirement in one statement. So in that scenario, we consider the feasibility of populating data directly from the lab systems. The lack of network connectivity of the lab system lands of the lab systems to any of the LAN network, the feasibility of a data pipeline or ETL pipeline is not possible. Means they are on isolated zones, and the officials has to collect data manually from the lab systems, and they have to pull that data from the lab systems and push to the data solution. So once the data as per the prototype we have created, once the data is available in the data solution, the data is the official can upload the data using the user interface provided. Once he has uploaded, the data is directly going to the base tables to most like an OLTP in the base tables. And from the base tables, we have using the database jobs for populating it to the staging area. Staging area, the tables, the data is getting transformed according for the needs of the for populating to the star schema model. We in the database we have created three layers, I think it's working as a three layers. First the base tables, the data is directly populated from the base tables. Is getting to the staging area. Other from the staging area, it's getting populated to the star schema model. From the star schema model, the reports we are fetching the reports and the dashboards from the star schema model. Since we are creating a prototype, we are solely focused on one particular module of the lab center and for one particular test, with the prototype is developed in such a way that we can integrate more modules with the prototype. The source data is in the form of XML files and the save files. The user can upload these files, and these files will the data is processed and stored in the star schema, and from the star schema we can integrate we can have reports and dashboards. We have created a sample model on Oracle with the help with the or utilizing Oracle database and Oracle Apex and Oracle Linux. The sample model is like the prototype we have is here. We have used custom authentication for security purposes. We have used custom authentication. A lot of future and works has been since the scope is only for this particular prototype development. We have limited to limited the scope to the custom authentication. We can also enable social network authentication of with Apex, but we have used custom authentication for the for our prototype. Our prototype look like this. Means here we can the two modes of we have two modes, one for the admin team, one for the athlete. The athlete can also log in and he can also track his performance. And here we have the modules like athlete management. Here it's since it's admin, we can add athlete, we can view the test, and compared coming to bookings, we can book a test for the athlete. We can view the bookings. For example, any upcoming bookings for athletes, we can see if any how many tests are completed and everything. In the configuration, we have the basic app configuration like setting the country, setting the county, and each and everything for the first initial load of the application. Uh, Initial start of the application, we have these much things for the configuration. Then we have the dashboard. The dashboard means since we have only one sample sheet from the business team, we are not able to populate entire data for even though dummy data, since it is complicated to populate the dummy data. We have did this with the few dummy data we have populated, and the interface of the application looks like this. It is configured with Oracle Apex and Oracle database. And here we can book a test for the athletes. We have bookings for the we can view the bookings, the athlete manager. We can add athlete, and the data are populated in the um, base tables are going to the staging and going to the star schema model. This is what about the application is. The prototyping is getting developed, and we are only focused on one particular module. That's all about this dissertation. Thank you.